So finding slope from, so this is your foldable. Notice you're going to fold these flaps up this time, so you're going to cut along those dotted lines. I will do that. And notice just cut to that line, you don't want to cut all the way up. Okay, so the first one is finding slope from a graph. The second one is finding slope from a table. And then finding slope from 2 points. So if I'm going to find slope from a graph, the first thing you want to do, and you can write this, is identify 2 points on graph. So if you look at that, you wouldn't want to do a point like right there, because that point is like halfway, or it could be 0.45 or something that we don't know. We definitely see this point right here. You're looking for where they cross that grid, and you know exactly what point it is. Let me see if it'll focus a little bit. There we go. And then you want to look for the next point, so right there. So I'm going to do those 2 points. Okay, I'm going to change colors. Hopefully you can see this color well. The second thing you're going to do is find the rise, or how much it moves up or down. So from this point right here, I'm going to find the rise. So I'm going to say 1, 2, 3, 4. And you always want to start here and move to the right. So even if it was going down, you want to start on the furthest left point. So that one is 4. And then the next thing you want to do is find the run. How much it moves left or right. So then from where I moved up, I'm going to say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so the rise is 4, the run is 5. And then the last step that you want to do, and that's purple, but you can't, I'll use orange, is write the slope as rise over the run. And then I don't really have enough room, but I'm going to put a little note. Simplify. Simplify. It's a terrible Y, sorry. So, and then simplify. So I'm going to set it up, pull the rise off, so it's 4 over 5. Which 4 over 5, there is no number that goes into both of those. So that would be my answer. The slope of that graph is 4 over 5. Okay, let's do from the tables. First thing you're going to do is identify change in y values. Well, if you think about change in y values, the y-axis is the one that rises, so this is also the rise. So from 60 to 65, that goes up 5, so I would write positive 5. From 65 to 70, that also goes up 5. From 70 to 75, that goes up 5. 75 to 80 goes up 5. Now, if you cannot see it, you can subtract. Oh, sorry, you can't see. Subtract second from first. So I could do 65 minus 60, and it would give me 5. Okay. Then you want to identify change in x values, which would be the run. $25 and 5, so from 5 to 25, that goes up 20. 5 to 25 goes up 20, or you could subtract 25 minus 5 and you get 20. 25 to 45, 2 to 4 is also 20. 45 to 65 is 20. 65 to 85 is 20. Again, you could subtract each of those. 85 minus 65, 65 minus 45, 45 minus 25, and 25 minus 5, and it would give you those numbers. Third step, write the slope as rise. Sorry, that should have been orange. Over run. Or you will see delta. Remember that triangle equals delta. Oops, I forgot the E. Change. That should say change. Delta y over delta x. The way I remember it is y's over run, so the change of y over the change of x. So instead of trying to remember that y rises, if you say y's over run, since y's sounds like rise, I don't know. It's one of those dumb little things that I try to do to help me remember. Help me remember things. So I would write it as 5 over 20. Notice 5 goes into both of those. They're both divisible by 5. So 5 divided by 5 is 1. 20 divided by 5, since 5 goes into both of those, 20 divided by 5 is 4. So 5/20 actually simplifies to 1/4. 5 divided by 5 is 1. 20 divided by 5 is 4, because 5 goes into both of them. Okay, now the last one. We're going to do, first step I want you to do is label the numbers as x1, y1, and x2, y2. So this is our first x, so we're going to call it x1, y1, x2, y2. Okay, second step, use the formula y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. And so you're going to take, pretty much what this is doing is taking the second y and subtracting the first y, because it's the change in y, over the change in x, so you're finding the change. So I would do second y is 3 minus first y, which is -1, over x2, which is 0, minus x1, which is 8. 3 minus -1, remember when you subtract a negative, it's actually the same thing as adding. The opposite of a negative number is a positive number. 3 plus 1 would be 4 over 8 minus, or 0 minus 8. If I give you $0 and I owed you $8, I still owe you 8. Notice it's not simplified. 4 goes into both of them. 4 goes into 4. 4 divided by 4 is 1. Negative 8 divided by 4 is -2. We don't leave the negative on the bottom, so the answer would actually be I wrote a really long fraction bar, so the answer would be -1/2. So that would be the answer. Now, some people don't like remembering the formula, so you can also, let me find what color I want to use, so I'll use green. Can also place points into a table. I personally prefer to place them in a table. So x, y, just like this one, but you would just have 2 points. So if we do that, sorry, my computer was in the way. You would have a table, x, y, and place that point in there. So 8, -1, 0, 3. And then just find the change from -1 to 3. From -1 to 3. So if I owed you $1 and now you have 3 extra dollars, it was 4. -1, 0, 1, 2, 3. And then from 8 to 0 went down 8. From 8 to 0 went down 8. So you would set it up 4 over -8, which again would be 1, -2, which can be written as -1/2. So some people prefer to use a formula to not have to think about anything, or think about it as much. And then some people prefer the table. It's completely up to you. You can take 2 points, place them in a table, and find the slope that way, or you may use a formula. Just remember that whichever point you use, whichever point is first here, has to be used first in the bottom. So if you use 3 for y first, 0 or the x from that point has to be used first. So finding slope from graphs, tables, and